Hello and welcome to JamboFANTV. Sorry we're a little bit late. One or two things on. I've had a bath. Didn't even need one. How modern am I? You know. Gordon, how are you?
All right, Scott.
I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad. Started off. Let's let them in on a joke, Gordon. My English team's West Ham. Your English team is
Tottenham.
Yeah. And plenty of text going backwards and forwards. Harry Kane in our house is a euphemism for something else. It's instead of swearing at the moment. So, Gordon, you're a Harry Kane.
No, Tottenham's my favourite team. I wouldn't call myself a huge fan, but when we played them a few years ago, it was actually Harry Kane that made his debut against Hearts in the UEFA Cup, and he drew a blank. We got a 0-0 draw down at White Hart Lane, and Harry Kane missed a penalty. So there you go.
Well, I wish he'd have been missing a blanket bloody weekend. Anyway, let's get back onto the Hearts theme. Normally, Gordon, we do the sort of the men's review first, and then come on to and we're going to stop calling them ladies. It's women. So we're going to go on to the women's game. Basically, we'll have a run through, but some cracking news coming out now. The first team, Gordon, didn't have a brilliant game today in terms of results. Anyway, they lost 4-2 to Glasgow Girls. Now, Ash assures me, she put one in the back of the net, and she assures me that it wasn't offside. Okay, that's what she said. So you know, she seems a nice girl, so I believe her. I don't know. The under-11s beat Dunbar. Under-13s beat Bonnyrigg. Under-13s development, they lost to Dalkeith. Under-15s. The under-15s, this is brilliant, this one, Gordon. You'll love this. The under-15s are in a final. They won today, and they're in a final. And I've tweeted it. It's on there in November, and they're playing Hibs. Does it get any better than that?
Playing Hibs in a final? Definitely not. It's let's hope the 1 and the 5 becomes a bit an omen in this case. But yeah, you've just told me off air that Hibs beat Celtic as well, so it was a fantastic weekend for the Edinburgh girls. Us beating Rangers and the Hibs beating Celtic, so to set up hopefully as a cracking final. Obviously, I've no idea how the quality of the Hibs side at that level. I know they're very good at the first team level. So yeah, hopefully we can give them a good game and hopefully win this cup. And, yeah, I look forward to that. I'll try and make sure I can get along, assuming I'm not actually on holiday at that time. So I'm on holiday the first couple of weeks in November.
Yeah, I mean, we'll turn up. Like I said, you're on holiday. But in terms of Hearts beating Rangers and Hibs beating Celtic, it's fantastic for the city. We've had a chat with Hearts women. I'll have to get out of this lady's business. Hearts women, and they said that we can do something similar to what we did with Ash and Megan. To try and promote it and put it out there. But we've always said it. It doesn't matter if you pull on a Hearts jersey, we support you. The last one was the development side. The development side. Oh, they lost 3-0. So it's half and half. But let's just we'll focus on the final. Fantastic. We'll be coming along. We'll just keep plugging it on Facebook, and we'll keep plugging it on Twitter. And like I said, we're going to be doing a show with them to see where they're up to. I'm made up with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually noticed that you probably not know down there, but I noticed that Megan did an article with the Daily Record discussing the women's game is finally getting the recognition it deserves. I think she said something like her under-17s team, it must have been Windsor, ran away with the league, and it hardly got a mention in the paper. And an under-8s team won a 4-a-side tournament or something and made the front page in the local paper. So back then, it wasn't getting the recognition it deserves, and I think she's finally believing that it is getting some sort of recognition. Obviously, with Scotland qualifying for the recent Euros and stuff like that. So yeah, that was a good article to read as well. So if anybody wants to look up Megan Patterson in the Daily Record, there's a wee article in there about that as well.
It's massive, isn't it? I do like her. I do like her, a proper leader, and somebody that's around the club and will be around the club for ages. But in terms of youth coming through, in terms of this infancy of ladies football at Hearts, and the talent that's coming through, it can only get better, Gordon, can't it?
Well, I hope so. We're obviously mid-table in the second tier at the moment, but yeah, I mean, hopefully the name Hearts is going to attract better players, and obviously we saw ourselves a number of 14, 15, 16-year-old girls being thrown in against the big Glasgow team for a few weeks ago. So I mean, these girls showed promise. There was some things they did. They certainly didn't give up the cause, and yeah, hopefully they live up to the promise they've shown.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like going along. I wish more people would go along. Sunday afternoons. What else are you doing? But once you go there, you'll see the standard. It's a better standard than most people think, and it's girls and women in Heart shirts, playing with pride, playing with passion, and giving it everything that they've got. I think that's us done on the Hearts ladies. Bloody hell, Hearts. God, it's going to take some getting used to. That is basically going on to the men's game, Gordon. Massive support again from the away fans.
Yep, sold out the tickets on Wednesday or Thursday. Another, yeah, you're right, a big travel and support gave them, well, having read through Kickback, some of them gave them questionable backing, I believe, yesterday. It's not taken long for the Levine honeymoon period to be over for his second stint in our hot seat. Yeah, but you can't argue the numbers Hearts fans are travelling in at the moment.
I mean, it's brilliant. It brings atmosphere to the game, doesn't it? And sort of looking around that ground yesterday, if the Hearts fans hadn't have turned up, it would have been a lonely place. Yeah,
I saw obviously the pictures at the start of the game and sports scene, and the Thistle end looked absolutely empty.
It's shameful, isn't it? Really, when you're at home.
Well, that'll be. I mean, I'm assuming we probably outnumbered their fans again yesterday. That's 2 weeks in a row we've outnumbered the home support. So long may that continue. And it deserves even more credit when you consider that's our sixth away game, I think, so far this season, isn't it? Six away games, one home game, and they're still turning up in numbers. So I mean, it must be costing the guys that are going an absolute fortune, and they're still sticking with the team.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, whether we agree or whether we don't, I mean, I was reading one of Scott McIntosh's tweets, and he was seeing some of the lads around him were giving Hearts grief, and I think he tweeted something like, "Sometimes I hate sitting next to some Hearts fans," or something like that. And I sort of get that. But at the end of the day, people pay the money. Like you said, they travel there and they've got an opinion, and that's part and parcel of the modern game. In terms of there was that debate not long ago about if social media existed 20 years ago, would certain players be remembered the way that they are now? They've been being slagged off basically. if social media are around. But it's part and parcel of the modern game, isn't it? And you pay your money, you've got an opinion, and you say it. It's a difficult one though, Gordon, isn't it? I mean, we've said it before on here. Just sort of summing it up, it's a club that went down, that got into trouble, building massively now in terms of teams and in terms of ground, in terms of pulling everything together. That's Hearts, and it's coming together and getting stronger. It's getting stronger every day. Do we sort of take that, or is our expectations too high at this moment in time? But I mean, I'll throw in one more thing. It's tongue in cheek, Gordon. We're only 10 points behind Celtic.
Absolutely, they're catchable, definitely. They looked distinctly average yesterday and taking Rangers apart in the second half. So, yes, I think they might just be out of our reach, but I'm not sure anybody else is, to tell you the truth. If we get things right, I know we're going to come on to something to discuss that in a wee while, but I think I actually, personally, I believe second is and third is probably beyond us. I think that's between Rangers and Aberdeen, but neither of the two of them are impressing. So I think I'm prepared to be shocked by Hearts here, and if we can get on a wee run, especially this big long running home games we've got coming up.
I mean, definitely, yeah. I mean, considering what we've been watching and some of the results that have been happening of late, I mean, social media were talking about us setting up not to lose, and it's something that you said about the way that the gaffer would approach games. And maybe I'm a minority in this, but I'm okay with that at the moment. I'm okay with steadying the ship, settling it down. I'll give them one thing, that the players look more passionate, and that's always something that sort of sticks to me when players are looking passionate. But they seem to be playing for the gaffer and putting 100% of passion into it. Are you sort of with me on that one?
Absolutely. The three words I would associate with Craig Levein, whereas all the haters associate him with 4-6-0. There's three words for you. But my three words would be hard to beat. And Craig Levein's teams have always been hard to beat. I'm not even sure that he sets up not to lose. I think Craig Levein sets up to get 1-0 in front and then hold on. And there was a spell when he was a manager. You go back and if I remember rightly, guys like John Robertson were on the whatever version Open All Mics was back then, and he would say that oh no, Hearts have went 1-0 up, I can go home now, when Craig Levein was the manager. And it's just my belief that he makes his teams hard to beat, but I don't think it's about not losing as such. I think he wants to win the games, but sometimes it doesn't work out. If the other team gets the first goal, like yesterday, we've done well to claw our way back in the second half. So yeah, he's definitely he's a manager. He's a proper football manager, whereas Cathro wasn't, and you can see the difference already.
It is. I mean, it is. He's probably got more points now than Cathro got in his whole Hearts career, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, set up yesterday. Could have done with a bit more intensity in that first half. Wasn't the kind of start that we wanted. I think that's what the fans were reacting to. Pretty poor first half in terms of what expectations were, Gordon.
Yeah, I think Goncalves got isolated quite a lot in the first half yesterday, and that's happened actually since probably maybe during Daly's tenure as well. Goncalves looked a wee bit isolated at times, but he changed it. Credit to him at half time. We were pretty poor. Probably deserved to be a goal down. Although what a mess of a goal it was all round. I mean, when you look at how easy Drelak was beaten on the touchline, and how easily the other two, well, the two centre halves, Suter and Berra were dragged away, and it just left them such a huge gap to run into. Although you've got to say that the shot was basically a pass back, and McLaughlin somehow managed to let it squirm through his legs, which was a bit poor and a bit hard to take when you're looking at a guy to come in and grab that shot with both hands and make us forget that there's even a challenge there for Jack Hamilton, with all due respect to him.
I mean, in terms of the back four, and we'll put goalkeeper in there. We in the Edinburgh News last week, it was talking about players coming out talking about consistency. What we need now is we can't keep going back and saying, oh, we got this and we did this and didn't we have a good game. What we need is consistency. And for a long time, the defence haven't been consistent. They've been pulled about, pulled out of shape, and all of a sudden Levine comes in and it's tight again. You can see it; it's tight and looking like a unit, something that can work together. But yesterday I don't know what it was. It just that first half, it just started to disintegrate a little bit. Gaps were opening up and being exposed.
Yeah, I mean, if I can go back to Drelak, last week obviously he's made the mistake that's allowed Hamilton back into the game. 2 weeks ago, you've got to believe that if that was an Aberdeen player, Spittle wouldn't have got past him, because he just played like a guy who just refused. It was thou shall not pass 2 weeks ago against Aberdeen. I don't know what's happened. He's actually, to be fair, not played in the same position 2 weeks running under any of the managers, I don't think. But I'm beginning to think that he's possibly the weak link. I mean, we probably missed Doom yesterday. Somebody to go deep and take the ball off the defence. I know we criticised him because he's been getting himself caught in possession about 30-35 yards from goal. But it was like, I don't know, it was like Cowie and Walker and Randall. They just, none of them do what Doom does, whether he gets caught in possession or not. He obviously does do an effective job, and it probably goes back to the old saying that if you're a far better player when you're not playing, and people miss you.
Maybe so. I mean, I was one of them. I was saying, he doesn't play fast enough. He's not thinking fast enough. He's not keeping up with play. Walker was looking frustrated around him, sort of going forward. But like you say, he's out of the side, and it didn't look like the same. It didn't look, particularly in the first half, it didn't look like the same midfield. Yeah,
I mean, our midfield must have been a bit. We got dominated by the three Partick Thistle midfielders. Is it Barton, Edwards and Spittle, to the extent that there was a thread on Kickback today that basically wanted to sign every single one of them. And with all due respect, this is a Partick Thistle midfield. We shouldn't be getting dominated by them to that extent.
No, definitely not. But it was about fight. It wasn't there the first half. Second half, looks like they've had their asses kicked. I mean, I wouldn't like to be in a bloody dressing room with him when he's pissed off, put it that way.
No, I'm pretty sure he's quite a tough guy, and he doesn't pull any punches when it comes down to it. And yeah, we got ourselves forward more into Partick's faces, and whether we took advantage of their extra time during midweek, or whether it was just a case of Hearts lifting the pace and getting themselves in it. And I know it was a couple of long range pot shots before we got that goal. So yeah, we were pushing up. We were far more aggressive and offensive in the second half, and I think that's what we want to see. And it was, as I said earlier on, it's credit to them to get back into the game. I mean, that's obviously the first time since Levine's came back into the manager's office that we've went one down, and we've dragged ourselves back again. I think we've thoroughly merited a point in the end.
Yeah, well, I got giddy, Gordon, because I looked at it. I think first half we'd had 2 shots on target. I had it in my head we're going to win 2-1. So I got my phone out and played some money on it, and we were pounding some balls in there, and yeah, very exciting. It always gets more exciting when you put money on Gordon, doesn't it? It does. And then the goal come from the wonder kid again. This time he didn't make chips in the back of the net, but he's. What can you say about him, Gordon?
Well, he's the kind of midfielder that I think we all like. He's one of the guys that's prepared to run beyond the striker. And like we said earlier on, he didn't get much chance to do that in the first half. And I think he was probably a big reason if that tactics changed and we've got ourselves back into the game. So he scored with his shin last week and his shoulder this week. So whether it was over the line or not, I don't want to debate on that one, because I think Sportscience cameras was only from the halfway line. It's absolutely impossible to tell whether that was wholly over the line or not. But the officials seem convinced, so obviously we're not going to say no to the equaliser.
Well, you take it. I mean, you're talking to an Englishman, and we'll go back to '66. You take whatever you can get, Gordon. It was definitely over the line. You know what? You know what I mean.
Okay, John Watson, when you go.
Yeah, definitely over the line, and that's when I got giddy. That's when I thought my bet was coming in. Wasn't to be. Now, Keith, let me have a look through. Keith had a question for you. So it's Keith Gordon, 1972 on Twitter. Now, he was talking about lone strikers. Now, we missed the big lad up front. We did. I feel we did. It's a good outlet for us. He grafts. He helps the midfield out. He helps the defence out. And he's up front. He's sort of... I don't know. He's like a robot in disguise, Gordon, isn't he? He sort of clicks himself together and adapts to him no matter what. He wasn't there. Now, Ismay did his best, did a little bit of running. I think he misses it when he's playing up front on his own.
Yeah, I totally agree. And whether I actually don't know what was wrong with Lafferty yesterday. I was working last night, and I actually substituted for a pal of mine today in the Scottish half marathon. So I managed to do a half marathon before next week. So I've not had a chance to read any real reports either. So if Lafferty was out injured, yeah, we've got to probably second guess. Levine's actually come out. I did read that he's come out and said he's not sure of the shape of the team yet and the style that we're going to adapt. And I, like you, hope that Lafferty and Goncalves are played as a two up front. And he did that last week. So to answer Keith's questions, obviously I actually don't know, because he's when Lafferty was fit last week, he's played a two, and obviously there was a problem yesterday that he couldn't play, and he's had to go with Isma up front on his own. But I would like to think that especially at home, we are going to go with the two of them, because like you said, we caused Aberdeen an awful lot of trouble when he came on late on a few weeks back. So yeah, I hope he'll play the two. I think he will play. I think his preference would be to play the two. But it remains to be seen whether he can. And I'm sure Craig will be a bit more horses for courses sort of manager as well. I would like to think we're going to play, if we can, 2 at Dundee next week, 2 against Ross County. Not sure how we might approach the Easter Road game or the Rangers game, but we'll see how that goes.
See where it goes. Definitely. Look at you throwing in that you did half a marathon this morning. I'll just nonchalantly throw it in there. Well, I'll nonchalantly throw it back at you, Gordon. And I did half a marathon, half a Mars bar, and half a bounty this morning, and that was before 9 o'clock. So there you go.
You're showing your age with a half marathon there.
Oh yeah, the Snickers now, aren't they? Oh man. I couldn't get the joke in any other way.
Yeah, you think Checkers is still advertising them?
Oh, don't make me swear on here, Gordon. For me, though, for me, I just think it's one up front. Is he not liking? Does he not have any faith in other strikers, other tall strikers that we've got of a similar kind of style? That he thinks, actually, I don't fancy you in this game. I'm just going to play with Ismay and just see whether we can do a set play or something falls at his feet and he's going to get a shot off. Is there anybody else knocking around that you could be looking at?
Well, Stockton's his other option, isn't it? And he doesn't seem to have convinced any of the 3 incumbents of the manager's chair since his arrival. So I think he's maybe he's failing to impress in training, because you'd think he would have maybe had a run out yesterday. I think did he bring Curry on yesterday? I think he brought Curry on yesterday, didn't he?
He did indeed, yeah.
Curry's another. He's a set of legs. He's not a big foil like you say for Isma, but he has legs and he will stretch a defence. And you know as well as I do how hard they worked at the end of last season when he was coming on in games. So it could be goes with the 2 small guys and tries to stretch defences. But I'm with you. If Laffert is fit, I think you've got to get him in there with Isma and at least give that 3-4 weeks a trying. And if it doesn't work, then go back to the drawing board and try and figure out a style to get us on the front foot as often as possible.
I think it's got to be. I mean, I know it's JamboFANTV and we've already mentioned West Ham, but I always think of it as you got the Carol Hernandez type, little and large. You've got somebody who's mixing it up. That is brilliant, mixing it up and being difficult to handle in terms of the way that he is and the way that he's built, and then putting the balls across. Making it difficult, making the space for the smaller guy. The guy with the lower centre of gravity is always gonna cause problems, and I like that. I like that. But if we ever get an injury, I'm not sold on what I'm trying to get at. I'm not sold on this one up front. I don't really think it works for us.
No, and I don't think we've got the depth in the strike force that we would like to have. But yeah, I agree with your Andy Carroll analogy there. We had Clark and Robertson to show my age and go way back into the 1980s with John Cahoon feeding them. You'd love. I don't think that they're the same quality player, but you'd love Walker, Lafferty, and Isma to be the new Cahoon, Clark, and Robertson. Maybe that's asking far too much of the guys, but I think there is a good shout for a creator, a big guy and a wee guy. Definitely as a front three.
Yeah, definitely. And we said it because of what happened, and there's no point in harping on about it because of what happened with the ex-gaffer and the time frame and transfer window closing and not being able to get people in. It's an area where we're lacking, and it's an area that I'd like to see. I'd like to see strengthened in the future, just to make the squad complete, as well as, I mean, I'm sure we've done it on other programs. Somebody in midfield, somebody creative that he needs to be looking around for. But I'm sure or positive that he's already identified people. What do you think?
Well, as I said earlier, I like the shape as much as, again, we've criticised Jim. The shape of the midfield last week, with Jim taking the ball off a defence, Walker being the creator, and Callahan being the guy who runs beyond the forwards. I actually quite like that, and it's been a successful formula for Hearts in the past. We've always had a sort of tough tackler, although you can't, probably it's not an accusation you could level at Jim being a tough tackler. We've had a tough tackler, we've had a guy who's able to pass the ball, and we've had a guy who's run beyond. I mean, you're talking about, we had Salvatore, Fulton and Cameron as a trio, and much later on we had Darren Barr, Ian Black, Rudy Scatchell, as far as long ago as as short a time ago, as the 2012 Cup winning team. It's a formula that's worked for Hearts. It's having sort of a strong spine in the midfield, if you like, with one guy who can do each individual job to a higher level, and the other two just did what they do. And it's what that's the way I like to see my team set up. And maybe people will call me a dinosaur, because that's the way Jim Jeffries and Billy Brown set us up, and they've had the dinosaur name levelled at them quite a few times. But that's worked for Hearts in the past, and I think it works for a lot of teams these days. I mean, when you look at, as we spoke about Partick's midfield earlier on, they've got exactly that. They've got a tackler, they've got a passer, and they've got a guy who runs beyond. Hamilton's midfield's been getting a lot of credit. They've got exactly the same, although their absolute animal got sent off yesterday for a change. It's finally caught up with him, that McKinnon. But they've got Crawford and Docherty who do the creating and the running as well. So yeah, I think that's the way we should be looking at going. The three midfielders doing that, and as I said earlier on, you get your Walker creating, your Lafferty knocking the balls down and annoying defenders, and Isma doing the finishing.
Definitely. Where's Curry gone?
Pardon me? Curry?
Yeah.
Don Curry, eh? Yeah. He played yesterday, didn't he? Don Curry's a sort of... I don't dislike him, but I am probably not Don Curry's biggest fan, in that he's you can't but admire the work rate the guy puts in. What is he, 34 years old now, and he's probably the hardest working player at Tynecastle. But I just don't think he does anything spectacular. He doesn't let you down, but I don't think he's got that wow factor that sort of that players need to make them stick out. And I think, as we saw at Hamilton last week, it's arguable whether you can maybe do without him. He's probably a great replacement, although, as I said earlier on, we clearly missed what Jim did yesterday, and Cowie arguably might not have been playing if Jim had been available yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I would be sarcastic, but it's I don't know. Maybe it's another one. Maybe he's my new Walker. Who knows? But I just look and I just think sometimes, there's better out there. There is. I put something on Twitter. Who was it? Tim Sherwood was talking about, it was probably in the English leagues, but he was talking about sort of giving opportunities to young players. So I sort of twisted it a little bit and started to talk about young Scottish players being given those opportunities, because otherwise, they're talented, or so-called talented foreign players who are playing in leagues, who are given time. You know, we need to give them time. You know, they're over here. It's a difficult league to play in. We need to give them time, but we don't give youth time in our leagues, in our teams, to flourish and to have that game time to develop and be part of things. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's probably a fair comment. The times, the people that ask for time for guys like, well, in recent times with Adel Hassanui, the people thought he was going to be absolutely fantastic. He was absolutely humpty, to be quite honest with you. They've been looking for time for Mallory Martin. The amount of times I've read there's a player in there, although I'm not convinced. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult in such a small league and in the top league in Scotland to give youth time. I think some of these foreigners come in with a pedigree that maybe even that arguably earns them time. Where the youths come in and you're just not convinced, and that they're maybe not big enough, not strong enough, or you believe that they're not big enough and strong enough to deal with what's being thrown at them. I mean, you look at, actually, to be fair, if we can go to the Old Firm game, the young lad McCrory yesterday, I thought was absolutely excellent. I don't know if you saw the Old Firm game at all. You're probably watching West Ham Tottenham. Rangers had I think he's a 19-year-old centre half yesterday because they had such injury problems at the back. And you're right, he probably deserves another shot, but I think as soon as Wilson and I forget the Portuguese guy's name. He's only got about 95 caps for Portugal. I forget his name, Pena, sorry, and another. The guy McCrory, you probably not see him again for 6 months, which is a bit of a shame. So you're right. Even when they do play well, they're not going to get time.
You know, and it's difficult, isn't it? Because it's in terms of, and we'll take it back to Hearts. In terms of us, it does sort of, you know, you have to go out. You have to go out and take a risk on a player coming in and settling in. You've got to go out and take a risk financially for somebody coming in. Whereas if you can develop, as we've seen when Hearts fans come and want to play, you see that passion, you see that wanting to do well, that to run through brick walls for you. I think for me anyway, I think that kind of development, bringing people in, giving them opportunities, it pulls it together. It pulls it together for the club in a business term, and it pulls it together for the fans. There's nothing better than seeing one of your locals turn out for your side.
Yeah, but you must be liking the noises that Levine's making in recent times then as well, because he's clearly went, as soon as the transfer window closed, or shortly thereafter, he was in the paper stating that we are going to be looking at academy guys before we even think about going into the free agent market. So that's obviously an encouraging sign for what you're saying there. And I'm sure I've read that he believes that in 2 or 3 years' time we'll have the best youngsters in Scotland coming through at Tynecastle. And yeah, here's to getting a couple of them in the team. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I think I've rarely seen a Hearts team supported so strongly as much, and all that they were struggling in 2013-14 and came good in 14-15. I've rarely seen a Hearts team supported as strongly by the fans for those 2 years as the first year of an administration, and we were always going to go down in the second year in the championship. And the team was packed with young guys that come through the academy. Although I suppose you could say that sort of Walker, Patterson and Nicholson are the only three that have made it and are going to go into arguably better things. Although Holt's at Rangers, so you can sort of, well, he's not getting a game. So you can argue that he's sort of made a sideways move, if you like. So yeah, as I say, that what you say about the fans desperately wanting the young boys for their academies to do well. Certainly there's a lot of truth in that. And yeah, as I say, we've not supported Hearts to the extent we did in those 2 years for a long time before it, and probably since.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nobody understands it like your own. Nobody understands it. What those derby games mean. Nobody understands it. Like you said, like your own. Those kids who stood there, showing my age now. Stood there on the terraces. God, how long is it since we stood on terraces? But yeah, you know what I mean. They're there. They shout. They've bought the shirts. They've stood there waiting for players to come out so they can get signatures. They've been signed up. They've worked hard in lower leagues. They might have even gone out on loan and developed, and then they come back in and they pull that shirt on. I think those are the players that give you that extra. Those are the players that when they come back in and they put the shirt on, I think the £1 million players, as far as I'm concerned, you can't buy it. You can't buy that kind of passion. Are we all about Dungarden, or is there anything else that we've missed? I think we've covered everything. Go on.
Nothing for me. Just looking forward to. Well, not me again. I've got the half marathon next Sunday, so I'm not going to Dundee on Saturday again. So I'm actually really itching to get to a game, and it's going to be the 21st of October before I get to one. But so yeah, let's get a big support up at Dundee, and let's stop the bickering on the terraces, so, and get ourselves right behind the team again. And like that last topic you were on about there, guys like Callahan and Walker will lift the team through their passion for Hearts. And then if the fans are behind them, and you'll get a performance, and you'll probably get a good game of football against Dundee. To be fair, I think McCann's got them playing. They've got footballers in that team. I can't really think of many animals in that team, and I'd love to shove one over on Darren O'Dea since a few tweets when we were administration. Their captain who tweeted that he was enjoying our pain a number of years ago. So I'd like to stick one over on him. Although no, as much as I love Neil McCann.
That's it. Well, you never forget, Gordon. You never forget these people. But it's like I said, it's backfired. Clubs on the way up. Clubs building. That's the way that it should be. I'm looking. It's not going to be. I've got your dad down next week. So you never know. There might even be a guest appearance from Wallace and Ratty next week. You never know.
Sure.
So, but I'm looking at maybe coming up the week after and taking in a men's game, going seeing the ladies. Sorry. Oh, here we go again. The women's team. Going up seeing the women's team as well, and that's sort of it. One of the things that we do, we try and give things away on Twitter and Facebook and things like that, and you know, we don't get any sponsorship or anything. It's out of our own pockets. But what we've tried to do is we've been having a look at this thing called this is me showing my age again here, Gordon. Photoshop. Now that's where I used to take my camera to get things developed, and I used to leave it for a week and then come back and get them all nicely stacked up in a little envelope. But there's this thing called Photoshop which I've been trying to teach myself. So we've put a few T-shirts together, and the famous goal, which the celebration rather, which Gordon mentioned last week, where the lad was trying to make himself into chips. We've put that on a T-shirt, and those will be going after the printer. So when we give anything away, that's the kind of stuff that we'll be giving away from now on. So for us, it means something to us, and it means something to fans. And also on the flip side, the Hearts women, got it, Gordon. They've allowed us to use sort of their logo and image and stuff. So we've had a look at a picture of Ash slamming in a challenge on somebody. And we've got that one, so we can do them in smaller sizes and all the rest of it. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll be doing, and we've got better at it as time goes on. We've been on YouTube trying to teach ourselves Photoshop. Bloody hell. And just keeps, all we can ask from you is keep feeding into us. We're over 1,000 now on Twitter. I never thought that'd bloody happen when we started. I were happy with 10 and 20. But we're over 1,000 now, so we thank you. Keep retweeting, keep liking on Facebook, subscribe to us. Could do with a few more subscribers. Get it out there, and we've been JamboFANTV, and we'll speak again soon.